very famous rabbi. His name was Rabbi Pinchas Vaknin. Zecher Tzadik Libracha. I believe he was born in the year 1921. That's Tafresh Pei Aleph. Passed away in 2004 on Yud Tammuz, the 10th of Tammuz. He was a great rabbi. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, it's actually interesting. His father was a very famous rabbi who was spoken about on various occasions before in the series, Rabbi Meir Vaknin. And his mother's name was Rabbanit Yael. He was born in the English year 1921 in Tiberias. He was born in. Now, while he was young, he would start learning Torah under auspices of his father, Hacham Meir Vaknin. He happened to be the rabbi of the city of Tiberias in Israel, one of 4 holy cities of Israel. And he was, I believe, also the president of the Kollel, the Torah Learning Academy, of Rabbi Meir Bal Hanes. Now, he would go on to study in Yeshivat Tiferet Yisrael, Yeshiva we've spoken about on various occasions before, that based in Haifa in Israel. I think the Rosh Yeshiva over there was Rav Dov Meir Rovman, a very great rabbi of his time. And then he would go on to the bastion of Sephardic Yeshivat in Israel, Yeshivat Porat Yosef, in the old city of Jerusalem, where many of the great rabbis would go on to live over there. I think at that point in time, the main rabbi was Rabbi Ezra Atiyah, and also Rabbi Yaakov Adas. Rabbi Yaakov Adas, we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was one of the first rabbis we covered inside this series. We're talking about over 3 years ago. He was also a great Talmud of one of the great ones outside of Jerusalem, let's just say, who learned inside Porat Yosef, who actually came outside from Jerusalem to actually move to Jerusalem for Porat Yosef. And very much he was really an integral part of the yeshiva, and it was really, with the great father he had, it really put him in very, very good stead. Now, come with the year 1944, he'd get married to his wife, Elisha. I think her name was Ivat Baracha, if I'm not mistaken. She happened to be the daughter of Rabbi Ovadia Tzadka, very, very great rabbi who we mentioned about on various occasions before here in this series. And what's interesting, Rabbi Pinchas Vaknin would receive rabbinic ordination through the Rosh Yeshiva Porat Yosef, and also the Rishon LeZion, Rabben Tzyon Meir Chai Uzziah. Remember, he was, I believe, the chief rabbi of Israel between the years 1948 to 1953, if I'm not mistaken, the first chief rabbi of the Medinat Israel, really great rabbi. He would learn under other great rabbis at that stage in time. He was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was invited to actually learn through Rab Noach Korol Bakobotz, if I'm not mistaken, and part of the Kfar Hasidim Yeshiva. In 1948, he'll be appointed as a shamash to the rabbi of the neighborhood of Tel Arza and the rabbi of the synagogue of Ohevi ציון in Jerusalem, very prominent positions. And I think, especially during the time period of the Milchamat Yom Ha'atzmaut in 1948, he would return to Tiberias, and after eventually he would return to Jerusalem. And once again, he would learn in Yeshivat Porat Yosef, be very much part of it, and various other Mostot foundations he would be part of, and really train in excelling with regards to Limud Torah and study of Torah, respectively. I think later on, he would go on to be appointed Rosh Yeshiva of Tiferet Yosef. This was a yeshiva, I think, that was established in the year 1959, this was. And now, come what the year 1965, he would start learning, I think, let's just say Kabbalah, on a fixed rate, through the great Kabbalists, Rabbi Ovadia Odaya. He happened to be the integral part of the famous Yeshivat Bet El in Jerusalem, a place we visited outside before, one of the great yeshivot, arguably, in recent Eretz Yisrael history with regards to the last few hundred years. In 1975, he would receive a certification, a Tuda, I believe, to become the rabbi of the city through the Rishon LeZion at the time, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. Remember, Chacham Ovadia Yosef was the Rishon LeZion, the chief rabbi between the years 1973 to 1983 of Israel. And more, he would be teaching, he would be learning. I think he was an integral part of yeshiva. I think he'd give out She'ul and teaching there in the morning. And I believe he would also be continuing his studies and very much being a part of Yeshivat Bet El. Now, I think he did suffer from some difficulties. It's reported over during his life, and I think in 1994, I think it happened to be that there was toughness in himself. I think at one stage he would go down to actually Egypt. He would actually visit Mitzrayim to daven inside, I think, some of the kabarim of the great rabbis, especially, I think, Rabbi Yaakov Abu if I'm not mistaken, and Rabbi Chaim Kafusi, great rabbis over there, so we'll make a traveling over there. He would return to Eretz Yisrael, and very much, while he was teaching, I think still he did suffer from some health difficulties, and I think in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, he would, around that time, he would have like an eye treatment, it's reported over, and at that point in time, I think, it was around 2004. He passed away, I think, on the 10th of Tammuz in the year 2004. He was, I think, buried, if I'm not mistaken, in Sanhedria, a burial plot, I think, in Jerusalem. It was. Now, in 2006, after he passed away, there was a gathering of his different Chidushim, his Torah teachings, especially on the Parashat Shavua, and various different drashot on the different festivals, and it was put together in the Rabbi Pinchas book. Now, just a couple of ideas from his book that he gives, especially, I think, in a book that was printed in 2006, Imrei Pinchas. I think it actually gives a teaching of it using the Oahbi website. Melamed shemafteach parnasa enot niftach ki im b'hakabetz yachad kol ha'eda. That's one teaching. Another nice teaching he gives is Melamed kala she'enah yafot shenotenet ba'ayin yafeh u'makabelet b'seve panim. That's another teaching of his. Now, friends, we're a community. Please subscribe to the channel. We're nearly on 7,000 subscribers. If you descend from any of the great rabbis we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. If anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos also to other people and learn about. We've covered already about 1,000 rabbis on this. So I wish you Shabbat Shalom. Take care.